ready for an exorcism.
We have such sights to show you. Oh, yes. There will be blood.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bloody Streams, where we talk about the latest and greatest in horror entertainment. I'm your host, Jonathan Thibodeau, and with me today, we have a very special guest, actually. Lead singer of the band Echo Muse and fellow lover of horror, Jonah Thibodeau. Say hi for us, Jonah. I was all like introducing my friend. I was like, and here is Jonah Thibodeau. And you had your chair around. That was actually kind of classic. That was kind of hilarious. How's it going, Jonah? I think you are in fact muted, my friend. He is here.
Hi.
Okay.
But my only wish is that like I had a cat with me.
Yeah.
That would have made that whole thing so much more perfect.
Yeah, on screen, like, you know, back to, like, almost like you know, who was it, Inspector Gadget with Dr. Claw taking it back, right?
Yeah.
With the cat, and you like turn around and you have cat. That would have been amazing, dude. Right? I'm with you on that one. All right, nope, Jonah, it's great to have you on the stream today, for reals.
It's good to be here, man.
Yeah, and your music rocks, absolutely. Speaking of that, guys, later on in the stream today, we are going to be listening to some of Jonah's music. All right. On the agenda for today, for episode 2, we are going to be reviewing and talking about the Child's Play films, Child's Play 1 and Child's Play 2. All right. We're going to be talking about the Chuckster. How you feeling about that, Jonah? Ready to do this fucking thing?
You know what, dude? That is one. Child's Play was actually one of the first horror movies I saw.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Tell me more.
Well, I think like the first horror movie I ever saw was Scream.
Okay, that's still a good flick though. Wes Craven joint, man. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I saw that movie and then I was just hooked on horror.
Yeah.
And I guess it just kind of progressed from there. And then I watched the Child's Play movies, and I mean that like sealed the deal for me.
Gotcha. And then was it pretty impactful for you when we were talking about like you know, how like if it's like one of the earliest movies that you ever saw that were horror, like how did it impact you? How did it affect you?
I would say just like taking the you know, especially like as a kid, you know, like taking the concept of a toy gone bad. Like that, it was such a cool concept to me.
Yeah. And taking it dark too, right?
Yeah.
Taking it into the realm of horror, making it just, you know, basically a sadistic serial killer who has to deal with the situation where, you know, they have to use a host. They want to get into a host. And so happens that they're forced to use a fucking doll to do that thing, right? And they actually pulled that stuff off really well. Really quick, speaking to the comments in chat, we've got Thomas Paxton. Welcome to the stream. Oh, T-Paul's Playground as well. That is also Thomas Paxton's streaming franchise that he has on YouTube, guys. If you wanted to look that up, T-Paul's Playground. Let's check this out. So we have some fucking comments. This entertains me greatly. I think, Jonah, you'll be entertained too. So Thomas says, Amber, Tim, and I enjoyed that chair spin at the beginning because Dr. Claw mode, right? That was I added my 2 cents, but it's true. So very entertaining, my friend, for sure. T-Paw also says, still an awesome opening. Thank you very much, my buddy. I appreciate that too, right? A lot of work put into that. I'm glad you guys enjoy it for sure. Wanted to bring that hardcore horror, right? Wanted to bring the bloody streams. So, all right, Jonah. Well, you know what we can do? We can go ahead and then like start introducing the Chucky movies. I was going to say we have you as a special guest. But we also have another special guest that's with us today. Give me 1 second. Hang on a minute. Hang on. He ruined his own fucking intro. Give me a second here. All right. Hang on, bro. Hang on a minute. Fucking chill. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys. He's a pain in the ass. Seriously, I got to say it quietly because I might be killed in the fucking night if I say it any louder. All right, man. You ready to do this? Let's do this. All right. Today on stream, I have the immortal Chucky. You actually are immortal, aren't you? You gonna fucking say something, or you're just gonna sit there? He's just gonna sit there. All right, he can just fucking sit there. That's all fine.
Chucky, wanna play?
Now the first thing we gotta do is get me out of this body once and for all.
Okay, you've been trying to
The
fuck.
true classic never goes out of style. I'll be back. I always come back.
All right. Can I talk now? We good? Okay, fucking A, man. So first thing is, you've been trying to get out of your body for like fucking 20 years, right? Well, I guess he actually did finally get out of his body, right? I think it was like Cult of Chucky. So well done. It took you like 20 fucking years, right? And in terms of a classic, he is a classic. You're a straight up fucking classic. Okay. with a resurgence lately. Yeah. We've got the show, right? That just came out. I've been watching those episodes.
Yeah, which I'm in love with, by the way.
Yeah. Really well crafted, right? We can actually talk about that too once we get into the movies. All right. So Chuckster, we're gonna fucking go in and we're gonna be watching your trailers. All right. We're gonna be talking about your movies. How do you feel about that?
You do know who I am. And if you know what's good for you, you are going to love, honor, and obey.
No fucking shit. That's what we're going to do, buddy. All right. I'm putting him down. He's being really difficult right now. Okay. And then we're going to start this shit. So just fucking
there's
chill,
no
bro.
knives around you, right?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're all right. So, oh, we got some. All right, I think we're okay. I get nervous around Chucky. You know what I'm saying? It's justifiable, right?
Yeah,
so let's see here.
I don't blame you.
Fucking A, right? Let's see. So in chat, Thomas is like, he talks. Unfortunately, yes, and it's always fucking harsh. It's always just mean, right? It's because he's a sadistic serial killer. What else is new, right?
Yeah,
Jude Amber Paxton.
Can't expect
Yeah. Go ahead, dude. You can't. Yeah, that's a good point. You can't expect anything else when it comes to the Chuckster, right? Jude Amber Paxton, welcome to the stream. This is awesome, right? She gets like, Jude Amber Paxton also says, the doll. Yeah, the doll, the iconic doll, right? Absolutely. All right, let's do this. So we're going to dive in and we're going to start our Child's Play 1 discussion. Before we do that, yeah, Jonah and I, we're going to sit back and we're going to fucking, all of us are actually going to sit back and check this fucking thing out. Give me 1 second. We're going to fire it up. Here we go.
Everyone has a birthday they'll always remember.
Can we open my presents now, Mommy? A good guy! I knew it!
A good guy. Not really, though.
I'm Chucky.
He's something, isn't he?
This is
He's
Andy's.
something.
He's something.
Time for bed, Andy. Good night, baby.
Good night, Aunt Maggie. Good night, Chucky.
This is when you got to get fucking worried.
Yeah.
Everyone knows most accidents happen at home.
How did that happen?
This is no accident.
Andy!
I'm Detective Mike Norris, homicide.
Andy!
Miss Peterson's dead, Miss Barkley. She fell from the kitchen window.
Someone's moved in with the Barkley family.
I wonder who it is.
As terror.
Mommy, I know who was on the counter. Andy!
Who, Andy?
Chucky.
Nobody believes you about Chucky. He came alive in my hand.
Oh, for God's sake.
Why won't you believe me?
Because I'm sane, Mrs. Barkley. Sane and rational.
No one believes the truth. Or lives to tell it. There's nothing nice about murder. And there's nothing innocent about child's play.
Never anything innocent about it.
Child's Play,
ever.
yes.
Yeah. So,
AKA Indy's life sucks.
That's a good point. Tell me more about 80s life sucks. Tell me more. I'm intrigued now. Depends, right? 80s life could fucking suck.
Well, hey, just because life sucks doesn't mean it doesn't make you stronger, right?
Right? Exactly. And when it comes to the 80s, there was good and bad with the 80s for sure. Oh, let's see. Thomas Paxton in chat says, it's interesting watching all of this from the other side, as in from the audience perspective. So I had Thomas on last week on the show. He's a novelist, right? He has published books and everything.
Yeah.
In case everyone didn't know that, maybe you hadn't watched the last episode and you're trying to get caught up. Yeah, Thomas is here, and it probably is surreal. It probably is really fucking weird for you to be on the other side. That entertains me, Thomas. Just saying, man. All right. So let's get into like the meat and potatoes of Child's Play. Okay. So with Child's Play, we always start off with different aspects of the movie, Jonah. So the first one is cinematography. I really enjoyed the cinematography for this one. I think that if you're going to talk about a fucking possessed doll and you're going to make it scary, coming from the point of view of a director, right? Like how you pull that off. And for this one of my favorite directors, because of how they created the Child's Play movies, Don Mancini, the director of this film, I thought he did a really good job with angles. I know that a lot of the angles in the movie are more maybe from a downward perspective up to give Chucky like this bigger than life kind of a thing, kind of an interpretation, right? How do you feel about that on your side of things?
Well, I would say one of the coolest things about, especially like older horror movies, Child's Play included, right? The kind of like what you were talking about, the camera angles and all that fun stuff. I think it was a lot easier to be creative back then, right? Like,
that's a good point, actually. Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You're experimenting with stuff that hasn't been done. Whereas now, it's kind of like, okay, like I've seen this before. Like, how do we make this new again?
Yeah, I can see that too. Go ahead.
I think there is something to be said about the authenticity of the art that was being created.
I dig that. When you say authenticity, what do you mean? Define that for us. I dig that.
I guess meaning like, it's very. Again, when you're talking about like Child's Play, for one, haunted dolls, there wasn't. Now we have like Annabelle and all sorts of stuff.
That is a good call out though with creepy dolls,
right?
Fucking like Annabelle, right? Yeah.
Like, I firmly believe if Child's Play wasn't around, like those movies wouldn't have gained the traction that they have.
I can feel that.
Like Annabelle.
Yeah, so it's kind of like from what came before, right? If Chucky hadn't been made, then maybe these current movies, like Annabelle, and Annabelle's more like inanimate, right? But to project that kind of a feeling in those movies, that element of fear, even if it doesn't talk, I guess if you've had that in your social subconscious, like if you've seen the Chucky movies, it already planted that seed. So then when you see movies like that, it fucks you up. Right?
Exactly.
Probably on a very subconscious level. Like, yeah, go ahead, man.
It's kind of like clowns, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody had a fear of clowns until until like recent times, and that's because so many like horror clown movies have been made since.
Mm-hmm. You want to know the movie that really screwed me up, but it was funny at the same time? Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes.
When we're talking clowns that just mess you up, give you that psychological trauma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Killer Clowns. Later in life, I just grew to appreciate it for it's so bad it's good. I've said that a few times, but as a kid, it messed with me. You got like popcorn larvae that eat you alive, and there's all kinds of crazy shit in that movie.
That's the coolest thing about horror, I think, is that there is no bad horror movie. Either you can sit down and laugh at it, or you're scared. There's no there's no in between.
Exactly. I'm with you, man. Totally. Dig it. So let's do this. Let's acknowledge chat a little bit here. Let's kind of look at the comments. So, Thomas, again, he's like, hello from the other side. I did that for you, buddy. We have, Kelly Wasdorp. Kelly, thanks for joining the stream, man. I'm excited to have you on here. This is badass. Kelly says, greetings, gentlemen. I feel Drag Me Down was movie soundtrack quality. Is there a horror franchise you would be interested in contributing to the score? I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah. What do you think, Jonah?
Oh man. That's a really good question. Wow.
Kelly has to bust that out immediately, right? Yeah, totally. How about this? Kelly?
I guess
We're
I
gonna
never
think
really
about
thought
that
about
one.
it.
We're gonna have
you
to
know what's
though.
funny?
Yeah.
One of my friends said this to me, and our song "Invincible."
Great track.
He was saying, well, like I imagine Invincible being on like a Nike commercial. I was like,
Yeah.
huh. I mean, I don't have the licensing to do that kind of stuff, but that's a cool idea. So I get it's not something I like often think about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I should start thinking about that sort of thing.
I think Nike should pay you a shitload of money to use Invincible. They should be begging you to use Invincible in their videos. All they would do is enhance it. You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's check out chat. Also, Carnage 6778. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Carnage says creepy clowns started with killer clowns from outer space. See what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
People know.
Yeah.
The lovers of horror know and understand this totally. Oh, Kelly Wasdorp sounds like he's listened to Invincible. He's like, I thought Invincible would have been great in The Crow. That's a good fucking call out, man. Actually,
I've never thought about that. That's cool. That's
Kelly.
cool.
You just gave Jonah a fucking epiphany.
Why am I making any business decisions? You guys just make it for me.
Yeah, Kelly's on it, man. That's great. Totally. Let's see. Thomas Paxton says Chuck has a giant legacy of what came before in respect. Oh, let's throw this up there. This is like poetry. He says Chuck has a giant legacy of what came before in respect to the current canvas of creepy fucking doll stratosphere in terms of horror and monster movies. This is so eloquent because Thomas, the novelist, that's why, right? He became and transcended the idea and concept of monster movie mania, embodying the image of what defines a monster movie in terms of what we define as a monster movie mayhem and horror cinema. That's a great, epic, legendary fucking call out, my friend. Well done, Thomas. Absolutely. I think it speaks back to what Jonah was saying, where you have these newer movies like Annabelle, right? That's the one that really comes to mind for me and resonates when you say that. That makes sense. But the foundations were laid back in the 80s with Chucky. And that's what really helps to lend to the power of the newer movies that are hitting, right? For sure. So, Kelly says, I think he wants 20%, right? Business perspective. So he's already laying down like percentages for you, just to give you a heads up, Jonah, for Invincible. Yeah. Helping you out there, or The Crow, I guess. Totally. All right. So let's do this. Let's move on. So we talked about the cinematography. The camera angles I thought were brilliant, because how do you make a killer doll menacing otherwise, right? I guess the other thing to talk about too would be the way that they set it up for movement for Chucky. I think for the 1980s, doing that and creating that level of like animatronic, right, or special effect was pretty impressive. Yeah, go ahead, man. I don't want to interrupt.
No, I would agree 100%.
Yeah, it was just the way that they made him look. Yeah.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Yeah, it's incredible what they did with what they had back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about like it's like 1920s, but I mean, like in movie years, that's old. That's like old special effects.
Indeed, yes. Yeah, it's like it's ancient. It's ancient cinema.
The fact
for
that
horror.
like it's holds up to this day, I think.
Yeah,
is just a testament to the creators of this movie.
Absolutely, right? I think they were they were ahead of their time. I think that's the best way to put it, right? They were very, I think it was avant-garde would be the term, hopefully. But yeah, they were going into uncharted territory at the time, right? And they made a killer fucking doll scary. Don Mancini pulled off what I think a lot of people would consider the impossible and made a doll scary as hell. Absolutely. So, let's see. So Kelly was saying the 20%. Thomas Paxton, he's like, Kelly is digging into that contractual nature. You get what you negotiate for. Yeah, Kelly, we're saying it. We admit it. Well played, my friend, for sure. I'm impressed. All right, so let's talk about, when it comes to child play, the score, right? What did you think about the score when it comes to the music?
It's good. It's good. I do wish there was something a little bit more iconic in terms of the character itself. Like you hear the Halloween theme, you're like, oh, that's Michael Myers. I know exactly who that is. I feel like Chucky never really had that.
I could see that totally. I think it's one of those things where when it comes to Chucky and it comes
about
to
like building like intense moments, right? Like creating tension. But again, I wish there was like a like something to be like, oh yeah, that's Chucky. I know what that's from.
Yeah, like signature basically is what we're talking about. Yeah, the thing too is I went back because the thing that really inspired me to want to do this show and focus on the Chucky movies is the new series that came out, right?
Yeah.
So I went back and I watched all the Chucky movies, and having done that, now I have this awareness of the score, the soundtrack, like for each movie. And now for me, that the score for it, right? The thing that identifies Chucky, now it's as impactful as any other movies that I'm a fan of. Hellraiser, that has some pretty powerful music. Okay, Christopher Young rocked that. Other films, like you said, Halloween. Yeah, when I hear the Halloween score, dude, I know exactly who that is, and I love it. It gives me the tingles, right? Or Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the score itself. I did that for all you guys. You hear those things, and it's like, boom, you immediately know. I totally agree with you when it comes to Chucky, where it's not as, not as apparent, right? And the horror awareness for fans. But I think once you go back and you revisit them, it's something that won't leave you. Because now I can hear it all the time. When I know Chucky, like when I know Chucky, I'm going to be watching a movie, that jingle comes in, that score comes in for me, right? The initial sound, the initial song. So let's see. Oh, Kelly, though, makes a really good call out too. So in chat, we were focusing on Annabelle. This is brilliant. Kelly says, Puppet Master was unbelievable in that manner also. Full Moon Entertainment, absolutely. Full Moon fucking rocked that when they brought that out. I don't know. Have you ever seen Puppet Master, Jonah?
I have not, actually.
And that's okay. What I would recommend, your call out with Annabelle was great. If you get a chance, check out the Puppet Master movies. I believe they might be available on Amazon Prime Video, on demand. Check them out, man. If you've never seen those, that's taking it back, Kelly. I dig that. Yeah, great call out for sure. Let's do this. When it comes to the actors in this one, right? So we've got Catherine Hicks as Karen Barkley. Okay, Karen as the mother of let's see, Alex Vincent, right, who played Andy Barkley, the child. I thought she did really well, and she did really well in terms of, a mother who's trying to deal with this and their child in peril. And at first, she doesn't know that Chucky is, an actual animate being, right? But then when she comes to realize it, like she's trying to figure out, how do I help my son, basically?
Yeah.
And she plays that really fucking well, right? That vulnerability and that concern, and like, how do I defeat this doll, this like possessed doll, right? Yeah, really powerful in that regard, for sure. When you were watching her performance, like, how did you feel about it? Would you agree with that, or like nuances?
Oh yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, I think a lot of elements of that movie still hold up to this day. The acting, okay, well, most actors, most of the actors, they're very, very, very good. The kid especially, the kid who played Andy, I always forget his name.
Let's go there. Yeah, the child actor who played Andy, I thought rocked it for their age, for sure. Yeah. What was it about the performance that really stood out to you when we're talking about Andy's character?
I would say just the interacting with the doll, especially like in the beginning there where things aren't quite so clear. He thinks, oh, it's my new toy, it's my new friend,
right?
My little brother, he has autism. Not saying that like Andy is remotely close to being autistic, but like I guess what I'm saying is watching my little brother grow up. That's exactly how I would have imagined him playing with a doll.
Okay. That's an interesting insight. Tell me more about that, man. That's pretty fucking.
That's very believable to me. But also the fear in the end is that's so good. I mean, there's only a handful of kids who can pull off that kind of performance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And have it be believable. And he was one of those kids.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. When you watch that movie, as you're watching that journey where he's just like, okay, haha, Chucky, he's my buddy, he's my friend. He's in my bed and we sleep and, nice, cute child things. And then you realize, holy shit, this guy's a serial killer in a doll's body. And then he has to have that awakening and that revelation, right? And having to deal with it. It was amazing, that performance. I always give him kudos to that for sure as a child actor. So, yeah, absolutely. And overall, everybody, if you haven't seen the Chucky films, even going back old school, check it out. Like, check out the Chucky movies from 1 all the way up to Cult of Chucky. Like I said, I'm still burning through Chucky the series. That I love it. It's such an amazing thing. Don Mancini, who was the director for the first Child's Play, he has come back and he's very instrumental in the creation of these new episodes. They're amazing. And the payoffs in terms of the kills that Chucky does, my God, like it's like a revitalization of the franchise. That's how good they are. Yeah, for sure. Let's see really quick. Kelly in chat says, real childlike naivety. Yep. I wonder if they use jump scares to get those responses. That could have happened, right? Maybe Don Mancini was a sadist in those movies. And he's like, hey, we got to get this reaction out of him. Don't tell him, though. That could have happened, especially with the performance being as good as it was, right? Awesome call out, Kelly, for sure. Yeah. Love it, man. So much. All right, let's do this, dude. If you're good with it, let's jump into fucking Child's Play 2.
Yeah,
let's check that thing out. All right, let's get on. Let's get this.
Andy, you still dreaming about Chucky?
Sometimes.
Dreams can't hurt you. Dreams aren't real.
Says the guy who has no fucking clue.
Right.
There are lots of kids your age in the neighborhood, Andy. I'm sure you're going to make all sorts of new friends.
Welcome to Andy's Life Sucks Part 2.
No fair.
Absolutely.
You get a head start.
Excuses. Don't forget your doll.
Obviously, he's not come to terms with this whole doll thing.
It doesn't matter. Wherever I go, Chucky will find me.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Surprise! Did you miss me, Andy? I sure missed you. I got a new game, sport. And guess what? You're it.
Good time.
It's Chucky, look out!
No more Mr. Good Guy. Now it's time to play. Close your eyes and count to 7. When you wake, you'll be in heaven.
All right, man. So I'm dying to talk about this, especially with the second one. Let's do some chat though. So we've got Thomas Paxton. He tells us Chucky really plays on our childhood fears and our nostalgia, right? Especially, I think all of us have had that. It also reflects in Poltergeist, dude, the clown in Poltergeist. Now that I think about it, that thing was fucking terrifying, man. Seeing that as a kid, wow. So that's legit. Oh, Dames Marvs is in the house. Dames, he says hi. Just dropping in live from the Bourbon Theater in Lincoln. All right, moments before showtime to show some love. Right on, my friend. I really appreciate you doing that, especially before a big show you're having to do. And I hope you rock that fucking show tonight, man. I bet it's going to be great. I bet you're going to fucking just tear it up.
Good luck.
Absolutely. No, he's great. He's a great personality. Has his own show and everything, guys, for sure. So let's see. Dames is like, don't fuck with Chuck, or don't fuck with the Chuck. Let's immortalize that. Let's immortalize that on stream right there, guys. Absolutely. You don't fuck with the Chuck. I think you should copyright that, Dames, by the way. Copyright it so that everybody has to pay you $5 per fucking use. I think that's a good idea.
That should be like the next Chucky movie.
Seriously, when we're talking about, having to fucking negotiate financing and stuff for things, copyright it, done deal. You'll be a billionaire for sure. So, all right. So let's do this, man. I got to do it. The first trailer, for Child's Play 1.
Yeah.
It didn't really bring things into the equation like the actual actors. The big one that I want to call out is Brad Dourif. All right. The actual voice of Chucky is Brad Dourif, which I would dare say is like the most iconic thing ever now. Okay. You don't get to hear his fucking voice in the first trailer. You do in the movie once we get into it, but it's like it leaves that mystique there of like, you think it's just creepy doll walking around doing fucking heinous things. Then, right, you get into the movie and you realize this voice, he's a serial killer. You realize the power in that, right? And Brad Dourif just brought that hardcore down to his quips, his one-liners. He made those like part of Chucky's identity overall. Like, I fucking love this actor, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Yeah. When you heard his performance as Chucky, like, what did it bring out?
I would say, oh God, so many things. I mean, personally,
that's how I feel. It's hard to formulate thoughts.
So I guess for me, like, because I'm actually considering going into voice acting.
I could see it, dude. I could see it, and I can hear it for sure. So,
this is the kind of stuff I like study a lot.
So when it comes to the voice of Chucky, then what were the nuances? What really was there anything that really stood out that impressed you when you heard it?
Just being able to kind of switch in between, playful, angry, crazy, like to like convey all that in like 1 or 2 lines is ridiculous.
Yeah, and he has like one of the most iconic voices ever, and it's very unique. I'm going to take it back. I'm digressing just a little bit. I think this is one of the most underrated movies ever, but Exorcist 3. There are scenes in Exorcist 3 where I would almost straight up call it close to a monologue, right? That Dourif has to do when he's in a cell speaking to a cop. Okay. And it gets into like this really extensive fucking conversation within there, but it's basically Brad Dourif talking about the other side and demonism and what his experiences were, because he got put in the electric chair and he died, right? They actually found him and they prosecuted him. He was a serial killer in Exorcist 3, basically, but they brought him back like the other side, his friends on the other side, which they're alluding to the fact that they're demons. They brought him back, and his portrayal of that was so sadistic, and it made such an impression on me because of the eloquence of it and the fact that he can change his voice from like almost angelic sounding, right? I know it sounds weird, guys, but if you haven't seen Exorcist 3, like check that shit out, to pure menace, like just with a flip of a switch. So I know what you're saying when it comes down to the voice work and stuff, right? So completely fucking awesome. Have you ever seen Brad Dourif in any other roles in movies?
I don't think so. To be honest with you.
If you,
I don't think I saw The Exorcist 3.
If you haven't seen that
existed.
Yeah, I'm very curious, by the way. So what I want you to do is check that out, man. I want to fucking maybe have a conversation about that in the future with you. Yeah, especially where you're saying you want to be a voice actor and you have an appreciation for that work. Absolutely. Yeah. Also, in chat, Kelly's got these amazing call outs too. Kelly says, yeah, the voice is probably more important than the doll as far as fear, in my opinion. You both have a great feel for theatrics, by the way. Appreciate that, man. Absolutely. And your point is legit, dude. Yeah, it's like you have Chucky, but Chucky would be nothing without, and for me personally, without the voice of Brad Dourif. It's done. It's done, like for sure. So definitely dig it. When it comes to cinematography for this one, I also like it here, and I think they up the ante when it comes to special effects on this. You can tell too, if you're looking at Child's Play 1, the trailer, and then you're looking at Child's Play 2, you can see that it's just a lot cleaner.
Oh yeah, they definitely upgraded their cameras.
Yeah, they upgraded their cameras straight the fuck up, right? Absolutely. Sounds better, looks better. In terms of the special effects on this one, I think it looks great too, right? And I think they did a lot more with animatronics. Okay. I also saw in like the later Chucky films, they're using actors, right, to actually do it, which was actually amazing too, to like incorporate and do that mix, right? Were there any things in Child's Play 2 that stuck out to you, Jonah, when it comes to special effects?
Trying to think.
What about when it's?
I would say
yeah.
The biggest improvement that I really saw. And don't get me wrong, like the first Child's Play special effects were great, you know, especially for its time.
Yeah.
But I would say the doll itself. It just looked a little bit like a lot more, I guess, alive is like the like they really brought it to life.
That's interesting that you say that, actually, when you're saying that looked more alive. Yeah, and I think that was because they had a higher budget. They could bring a lot of those facial characteristics into play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know what you mean. Like in the first Child's Play, you could see where they were going with it, which was very experimental, but brilliant at the same time. And then you get into Child's Play 2, and it's more nuanced. You know, the face and the way he moves his eyebrows and his mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a good point that you make too, which just lended to the power of that character. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Same cast in this one, basically. I want to give a shout out too to the director, John Lafayette. So we had Don Mancini in the first one, knocked it out of the park. Having to like follow up and do Child's Play 2 after they really laid down that foundation for Chucky, that'd be a hard fucking follow, man, or a hard act to follow.
Oh yeah.
Right? Seriously. Yeah.
I also kind of want to comment on the trailers themselves.
Bring it. Yeah, go for it, dude.
So what I find, especially in the world of horror movies, especially these days, is that they show way too much in the trailers.
I dig that. Yeah.
Like the first Child's Play movie, like if I hadn't seen that movie before watching the trailer, I'd be like, oh well, I just watched basically the whole movie.
Yeah.
For the most part. Just without his voice, right?
Yeah, you've got like Act 1, 2, and 3 all in 1.5 minutes, and now it's done. Now you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
I think
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
The trailer did a great job at promoting the movie without spoiling it.
Yeah, so like enticing you just enough that you're starting to hear Brad Dourif and what he's bringing to the performance, which for me would pull me the fuck in, like immediately. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to kind of switch it up. In summary, guys, Child's Play 1, great foundation for a franchise that developed over time and became something absolutely amazing. Okay, in fact, I would dare say helped to redefine horror in a lot of respects. Has some campiness to it, right? But I feel that the cast, especially Brad Dourif, who brings the voice of Chucky, because he helped to establish that identity, he has a huge range when it comes to his voice, right? And what he can bring to it for portrayals and everything. I think that lended itself really well in terms of developing the character. And now it's just purely iconic. Okay. So if you haven't seen Child's Play 1, watch that fucking thing. It's amazing. Child's Play 2 is glorious because it builds upon the foundation that Child's Play 1 had for us at the time in the 80s. And then just everything was more enhanced. Production values were there. Chucky looks more realistic. Okay. It's just pure badassery all the way around. All right. What we're going to do now, everybody, we're going to segue over. This is what I'm really excited about, Jonah. Okay. We're going to go in, and Jonah is actually the lead singer for the band Echo Muse. All right. Before we dive into this, Jonah, give us a little background about Echo Muse, man. Tell our fucking viewers, because they have to know this. Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing music and stuff since I was about 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I guess taking it seriously, you know, for about, I don't know, how old am I? 17
I have
years.
those moments too.
I've been taking it seriously for 17 years now.
Yeah.
And whenever I moved here to Utah, I didn't know anyone I just kind of joined a couple bands here and there. Just kind of experimented, I guess. And then that band broke up, and then I got a call from I know you live in Utah, so you know like the music scene, or somewhat, at least.
Somewhat.
You ever been to In the Venue?
I have, actually. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So they called me, and this was like a big deal, because like I was like 15 years old. So I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, we want you to play. I was like, okay.
So talk about like having to try to pivot to that shit.
And
like,
but,
okay, cool.
Right? I didn't have a band. I have nothing. So I'm like,
except this like beastly incredible voice, right? You got to fucking figure out where are my people so I can do the things, like make a band.
I was like, well, I was like, all right, well, how long do you want the set to be? About 45 minutes. You're opening up for the Used. I'm like, oh,
that's ridiculous, dude. You're opening for the Used. Is that what you just said? Holy crap, like, dude. Like, wow. Okay.
So I was like, okay.
Nope, no pressure. No pressure.
I can make another band.
Yeah.
They're like, in 45 days, you can make a 45-minute set list in like 40 days.
Yeah.
And make an entirely new band. I was like, yeah.
You were like, bring it the fuck on. That's great, man.
So
you're like, I'm up to the challenge. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
So I didn't tell anyone at school who we were opening up for, just because I didn't want to get like players who didn't know what they were doing. They just wanted to be a part of something big.
Yeah.
Right. So I just posted like, hey, I'm like looking for band members. So I built a band, and we played the set. It was awful.
And that's fucking okay, totally, right? You're just like, at least you went in there and you tried to rock that thing.
But that was like the funnest time I ever had on stage. So I was like, well, I want to continue doing this. So
let me stop you right there, because that's a really interesting insight that you bring up, being someone who's in a band, right? So you went up and your perception is like, you just did terrible. But out of that experience, it brought out, you know what, you feel it was terrible, but it was like it sounds like one of the most exciting, like fulfilling, enriching elements of your life at the time. So when that happened, even though you felt that you didn't bring full A game musically, it like inspired you to continue to push forward and do more. Is that what happened?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying right now? That's badass.
I think more so what it was for me was, before this band, I was mainly just doing screams and backup vocals for the bands I was in, which was cool. But I never had the excitement and joy I did with this band. It was different, it was more pop punk. I was like, wow, I really love this.
Nice.
I don't care how bad we are. I just want to play more.
Yeah. So just like you want to be on the stage and that theatricality and like doing that, right? Kind of a deal. So
then as time went on, things kind of fell apart. So I quit the band.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go continue me for a little bit. Then I came back and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to get back into the music scene. So I joined another band, and long story short, we rebranded as Echo Muse. And we took a completely different direction. All the I combined the heavy with pop punk, with post hardcore, and you just got like this weird sound that nobody else has that sound.
I would definitely say, in a lot of respects, a very signature sound, Jonah, for sure. The other thing I was going to tell you too is in chat. So Kelly says, it seems like you transition between metal, punk, pop, and rock so easily. I would agree with that too.
Thank you.
You know, and your voice is amazing, dude. There's so much, you guys are going to hear it, dude. You're going to be like blown away. I know you are when you see it, but you have such a range. You can be really melodic, but you can also go the other way and just tear it up with the vocals, you know, like growling guys, like screaming. He has such a range. It's ridiculous. All right. Thomas says, Echo Muse is that dancing chorus line that blends in between all genres of rock metal. Thomas, you're so quirky. I love it so much, but I can see it for sure because you can thank you, right? You can bring it in and you can just intertwine all these different genres and do it with ease, right? Oh, Kelly says, you're going to like this. He says, I was delighted by your Katy Perry covers of Witness.
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Look at that smile, guys. That was great, dude. Does it feel good, right? Yeah.
You know, it's funny, actually. Funny story about that cover. We wrote the cover and then filmed the video the same day.
It looks great, man. Like it looks amazing. It really does. Yeah.
We seriously went from like 10 a.m. to like I think it was like almost like 4 or 5 a.m. the next day.
Okay, so you guys did a gauntlet. You did like an all-nighter to really lock that in. Wow. And to still bring that energy too, because in the video you've got it. So that was probably exhausting.
Oh, so that was the other thing, right? So when we're talking about like cinematography and stuff, interesting fact for you guys who are interested in that kind of thing. When we filmed the slow-mo shots, so you have to film it at twice the speed. So I'm singing the song at like twice the speed, doing all the head movements and everything twice as fast. I feel like I'm on crack. And then we slow it back down and then it looks all slow-mo.
Yeah.
That was really strange.
Strange, but was it like a learning experience?
Oh yeah, it was really cool.
Surreal.
But it was still really strange. You know, you don't know how something's gonna look until it's sent back to you. Like, oh, I get it now.
That's a good point. Yeah, because you're doing it, like you're trying to like bring it, and then you get to go back and see, well, what does it look like now? And then you're like, whoa, holy shit! Like that's the outcome. I get it. Oh, Kelly in chat says amazing. Right, so he just digs your work. Right on. Kelly's a super fan. I love it. I dig it. We have a huge fan in the house. Everybody, that's amazing. So, let's do this, man. I'm excited for this, dude. I want everybody to experience this. I'm gonna pull up his music video. Everybody failing me, okay? And we're gonna watch this thing now. And then what we'll do after we get done, Jonah, we'll talk about it because I have a few questions for you. I'm really curious.
Yeah,
let's do this. Let's fire this fucking thing up.
Story to go along with it.
Let's go there. Here we go.
You know nobody's ever gonna love you like I do, right? Look at me!
Oh, back when I had hair.
You pull it off, dude, with no hair. I'm just saying.
You're staying in my thoughts.
So Jonah, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like amazing, man. Amazing.
Thank you.
That's why I was so excited, guys. That's why I was so goddamn excited for you guys to see that and like hear it. And wow. All right, story. What is the story?
So this video was supposed to go way different. There was supposed to be a lot more storyline to it. But everything that could have went wrong that day.
Do tell.
So
what are some of the nightmares that happen?
So we had to like leave at like 4 a.m. to go to this place. So I'm not a morning person. This was hard on me. So I'm already like stressed out. I'm like, oh, I'm hoping things don't fall apart. And one of the girls that was supposed to be in the video, she backed out last minute. I was like, all right,
you had to deal with that pivot. Yeah.
Here we go. So now we have to like redesign the dance choreography with one less person.
So you had like this integral thing, like this dance, let's call it the dance number out of cliche.
Yeah.
Something that can come to my brain. You have this dance number going on. It's ready. Then you have this thing that comes up, this big ass curveball. And then you're like, how the fuck do we get this to continue? How do we do this?
Oh, that's not it.
Okay, let's go. Let's go on the journey.
So one of the girls, one of the other girls, right? And she was the one who was kind of like doing all the crazy stuff to me. The one who I choked out in the video.
Yeah, in the video. Yeah.
So she texted me saying she got really drunk. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
So you were dealing with that shit, basically.
So
okay,
we're on our way, and she is not answering at this point. She had been up like all night drinking. I'm like,
it's like I don't have this high end thing where I'm going to do a dance number for an amazing looking video and maybe get some cred from that and like some reputation and get more fucking jobs from that. I'm just going to drink all night. Wow.
So we were like trying to get a hold of her. She wasn't answering, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to plan for 2 dancers now.
Mm-hmm.
How am I gonna make this work? And then she like, we got to figure it out. She came. I don't know how she managed to do it all.
To bring it and still and be totally fucking inebriated, basically,
Yeah.
and things. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
At the very least, hungover. So I don't know how she pulled that off, but I'm glad she did.
Right.
There were some lighting issues that we had, which ruined a few shots. Some of the rooms that we had planned out just didn't work out. So we're like, okay, well, now we have to redesign the video itself. Because there was supposed to be like a whole scene where like it ended up with me on like a rooftop. And there was like a bunch of hands grabbing at me. And that scene at the end where the other girl comes in and kind of saves me.
Yeah, almost like angelic is what it felt like to me, right?
Yeah.
So
it was supposed to be kind of like, this relationship is toxic, but for every toxic relationship there's also that one good one out there.
I could see that symbolism. So the one that saved you, basically, right? So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
And it was supposed to be like, all these hands were kind of trying to grab at me. I fell next to like the door, and the door opens, and you see the angel. I
got to tell you, man, if you had to like do a mega hard pivot when it comes to the video, the final result, the one that we watched, is what it sounds like. That was amazing, man. The way you pulled that off, and perfect for a horror show. I just got to tell you, you called that out before I brought you on the show, and we're like, what video do we want to freaking show? And you were like, that, dude, failing me, man. That'll be perfect for horror. And you weren't fucking kidding. It was amazing, right? Legit. Let me ask you this. So, because we're coming up on the end of the episode, when it comes to Echo Muse, what do we have to look forward to?
Well, we've been kind of silent for a while now. We haven't said anything. We haven't talked about anything that we're doing.
Gotcha.
But it's probably about time to break the silence. So,
yeah. I agree with you, man. I feel that completely. Yeah, go ahead.
We are working on a new album, which it's very close to being done. But we also have more than just the album.
So other things in the works.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
So
yes.
We have enough songs for like 2, almost 3 albums.
Dude, that's exciting. So it's really just a matter of like all this stuff that you have for content, like the catalog, trying to figure out what you're going to be doing with it, putting it together.
We've been sitting on a lot of material. At this point, we're planning out videos, and these videos are going to be much higher quality.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking pumped to see what comes out down the pipeline.
Not that the quality wasn't good already, but
yeah.
It's gonna blow these songs and these videos are gonna blow all the others out of the water.
Yeah. Dude, I believe it. Absolutely. Especially with what we saw, right? Failing Me. No, I'm excited and looking forward to it, dude, for all the stuff that's coming coming down the pipeline with Echo Muse. And I know a lot of the people in chat were up the same way. I can see Kelly was pumped based on his comments in terms of content, what you guys are going to be bringing to the table, right? So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When it comes to your content, where can people listen to you? Where can they listen to Echo Muse? What platforms?
So many. There's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Just about any streaming service you can think of, we're on it.
Go do that thing, right? So just search Echo Muse. It's as easy as that, basically, on any of the platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Right on. All right, man. Well, I was going to tell you too. It's been like fucking amazing having you on the show today. I look forward to having you on the show in the future too, dude.
Yeah.
Because this was good fucking times, right? So,
yeah. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to get into podcasting more, and I think this is a great way to jump in it. You know.
Agreed. And we will absolutely be doing this thing in the future, my friend. I'm excited for that, for sure. So, all right, everybody, what we're going to do from here, we're going to be wrapping things up. All right. So just to give you a heads up, obviously I've said it before, episode 1, we do simulcasts for this content. Okay. We do it it comes out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. All right. When we go into the outro for the show, you're going to see all of the information where you can find us. And if you would want to go to follow, like, and or subscribe to whatever platform you came in on, as always, we love that. Okay. We really appreciate the support here at Bloody Streams. So that said, we're going to end this episode. All right. Hope everyone has a fucking fantabulous weekend and a week to come. And then next week, expect even more content, right? We're going to pick some other shows and movies and things to talk about, all the horror goodness. All right, everybody. For all of you lovers of horror, I hope you have a fantabulous weekend, and we are out. Peace.
I'm going to give the people what they want. Sensation, horror, shock. Send them out in the streets to tell their friends how wonderful it is to be scared to death.